What's up? Hi, happy Friday. How are you? So I'm going to be super quick. I always say that, don't I? And I'm usually not that quick. But I have been just kind of feeling, I don't know. I hate it when I feel that way because I love to be full of energy. And usually I am, but I was kind of struggling with what to talk about today. And so I have really just been spending a little time with the Lord. I had some calls with some clients and coaches, and it's been a decent day, but I really did not dedicate time to the Lord, which is not like me. So no wonder I did not really have a lot to say or didn't know what to say because I had not asked the Lord what to say. And that kind of leads me into our chat for today. And it is freedom. Finding freedom. And just out of curiosity, what does freedom mean to you? When I say the word freedom, what does that mean to you? And I will tell you, this is my experience with the word freedom. For me, for the longest time, freedom was wrapped solely around finances and the things that this world could give me. Freedom was so much about me. So when I say the word freedom, what does that mean to you? I would love for you to comment below, send me a little message. Like, what does freedom mean to you? And the reason that I wanted to talk about this today is because I believe that there are a lot of definitions of freedom that often bring us back to a place of searching for freedom again. What I mean by this is that a lot of times we believe if we can just land this job, if we can just earn this amount of income, if we can just have the things, then we'll have the freedom. We'll feel free. And what I found in my own experience as a healthcare professional, 8 years of medical education, landing a dream job, something that I really enjoyed, I felt empowered by, making a significant amount of income, having the house, having the cars, having everything I could possibly want. You know what else I had? I had a husband who humbled himself and was willing to stay home with our children. I had everything. You guys, like literally. But this was not something that I really thought about. It just happened. I just said, well, I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to get my education. I'm going to do the job I want to do. And everybody else will just work around me. Hence why my husband ended up staying home. Everybody's going to revolve around me. That's how this is going to work. That's what freedom looks like. Me to get to do what I want to do. But you know what I never did? I am a Jesus girl. I grew up in church and I knew who Jesus was. I knew most of the Bible stories, but I never really asked God what he wanted for me in my life. And what I'm learning is that true freedom comes only through Jesus. If you are a Jesus girl, if you are in Christ, if you said yes to Jesus, we are never going to be able to feel fully free if we are not walking with him, if we don't have a relationship with him. So this is what I want you to do this weekend. I have this huge assignment for you. And most of you are not going to do it. But those who do, I can promise you that you're going to start having kind of a different perspective. And it's no mistake that I read this devotion today, very short time ago this morning, and God just jumped off the page at me because I feel like I got freedom wrong for so long. And matter of fact, I'm doing a study with my church called Freedom. And you know why I'm doing this is because I don't feel free. I don't feel fully free. I feel like I'm still weighted down by what people think, with fear of God asked me to do these huge things, like I left healthcare. He's also asked us to start a ranch and to serve people. He's asked us to adopt. He's asked me to speak to women. He's asked me to write more books and write more things and blog consistently. And he's asked me to do these things. But you know what I've done is I have lived in a fear of a place out of fear of being rejected, of, well, is this really what he's wanting me to do? I mean, it's so hard. Like, I'm not really seeing a lot of fruit from the things I've already done. This is the place that my mind has been. I'm just being real and raw and honest because I think a lot of people look at pictures and look at things and you think, well, she's blowing up, like she's making all the money. She's got all these followers, all these people buying stuff, all this stuff. Like she must be living this life of extravagance. And that's simply not true at all. I choose to have a positive attitude most days. And then at the end of the day, my attitude goes sour a lot of the days because I feel like I'm doing this stuff. Like, what is this for? There's been a bit of discontentment in my spirit. And what I know is that that's from the enemy. And I know that there are still some things that I need to work on and I need to grow through. And how this happens is that if you feel like, I think that if I got that job I wanted, I was thinking that I would have everything I ever needed and everything I ever wanted and life would be good. Or if my husband would just change, then life would be better. If my kids would just quit acting crazy and maybe I wouldn't feel so crappy as a mom. Maybe if I lost that 10 pounds, I would gain my life back. I would gain everything back. But what we don't realize is that all these things are not going to bring us freedom, true freedom, living a life of freedom. So what I want to ask you, have you ever just sat down and asked yourself, what do I want my life to look like? What is that? Sorry, I feel like I have a hair, and I do. What do I want my life to look like? And I will tell you, this is biblical. The Lord does not want us to say, oh, well, it'll all just work out. It'll all just be fine. I do believe that He says, trust me, move forward and trust me. Don't worry about what's going to happen. But I don't believe He is saying to us, just live life however. Don't think about tomorrow. Don't worry about tomorrow. But I absolutely do not believe that God is telling us not to worry about tomorrow, not to think about tomorrow. Don't worry. But He's saying, what do you want? He's going to give us these things in our head and these things in our heart that are going to guide us into what our purpose is, what our tomorrows are, and what freedom really can look like in our own lives. And I hope you're still following me because I kind of feel like a little all over the place, which is, it's not cool. So I'm sorry if you feel this way. But what I know is God desires for us to meet Him where we're at and say, God, what do you want from me? If you have found yourself in a place feeling like bondage, feeling like clamped down, feeling like maybe this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, or is this really what life is supposed to be like? And maybe having everything you thought you wanted, but then it's not really making you happy. I'm not saying happiness is the end goal, but what I'm saying is that peace and true freedom generally come along with, like, if you have true freedom, you have happiness, you have peace. We choose these things because we're free. Because we're free, we live happy, we live joyful, we have all this, that's what true freedom is. And so I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to read this really quick. It says, freedom is found in following. It's not found in the stuff. It's found in the following. God will empower you to do all the things He has called you to do. But if we're not following Him and we're not asking Him, we go week after week, day after day with this feeling of nothingness, feeling of emptiness, like there's something more. So if you're willing to open up your heart and your mind and sit with God this weekend and say, what does freedom really look like for me? Like what would my ideal life look like? With my family, with myself, like what would that? And I'm not talking about materialistic. I think it's amazing to think, well, I want to be healthier. I want to be 10 pounds lighter. And I want to take vacations with my family. I want to be able to visit family I want to be able to do, that's absolutely what I'm talking about. What would you like to do? What is your heart desire? And what does freedom look like? Detaching from money. What does it look like if money was not even the thing? If your desire wasn't really more money, it was that freedom, that peace in your life. If you spend more time with Him, then He's going to show you possibilities. And this is what happened to me. I thought I had to do the healthcare thing because that was my only option. But what He says is, Chanel, there's so much more. I have so much more for you, but it cannot be about the superficial. It cannot be about what the world says is success, that the world says is important. It can't be about that. So I promise if you spend more time with Him, He's going to start showing you some stuff. So it says, ask Him, what do you want, Father? What do you want? Where would you want me to go? What would you want me to do? How can I prepare? What is it that I need to do to start preparing for what you want? When we abandon ourselves completely to God, we will seal every part of His specific plan for us with favor, protection, provision, and divine purpose. He will show us. He'll guide us. But if we have never asked, what do you want? What does really freedom look like for me? Then we have nowhere to go. I was just talking with one of my clients this morning, and I said, if we don't know where we're going nowhere. And we think, why is nothing changing? Why do I always feel this way? It's because we don't have a vision for where we're going. And so I encourage you this weekend is to think about, what does freedom really look like for me? And don't go down the financial path, because everyone thinks that more money is going to bring you more everything. And it's not true. Yes, we need money. Yes, it's a good thing. But what I want you to think of what would bring you that freedom feeling in your heart and in your soul. And for me personally, it is to get rid of the feelings of rejection, a feeling that I've carried with me through a lot of my life, to get rid of these feelings of expectation that I have of myself and that I have from other people. This a free feeling of the Spirit lives in me, God is guiding me, God is showing me that this life is about Him. It's not about me. And to be a better servant and to be a better wife and a better mom. You guys, that's freedom for me. Freedom is to be fully present, to be fully aware, to be all in there and being available to let God use me and do what He wants with me. That's what freedom is for me. And I do believe that will bring a lot of other cool things, right? It will. But if my mind is constantly on those, well, if I had these things, I would be happy. Or if my mind is constantly focused on what I don't have, what I can't do, what I shouldn't do, on that negative mentality, that messy mentality, then I'm not able to see God. I'm not able to hear from Him. So what does freedom look like for you, with yourself, with your family? Dream a little. Open your eyes, open your mind, open your heart this weekend. Sit with some worship music and just ask God, what would you have for me? If I said yes, what would that look like? And allow Him to put stuff in your mind and start writing it on paper. Because I promise you, these things, you guys, He gives us our direction. He tells us where to go. He tells us what He wants from us. He tells us. But we've got to be willing to open our heart and our mind to Him and allow Him to guide us and to even show us. So I hope you do that. I hope you take the time to do that. I hope you have an amazing Friday. I do have a vision board course if you are curious on how to kind of create a vision. But it starts, the very first video of my vision board course is literally take a weekend and just spend time with Jesus and ask Him what He wants from you and what He wants for you and where He wants you to go. That's the first step. So that's what I'm calling you to do. Freedom Friday is to just look at what would that really look like for you? If possibilities were endless, what would that look like for you? Share with me. If you do this assignment, I want to hear from you. Message me, comment below, and let me know. And I hope you have a fabulous weekend. Bye, guys. Hey, guys.
I got the